welcome to the inevitable return to butter. I am your host, Critical, and my co-host,
Squeezy Butter. And today we're talking about psychological and mental bullying. Psychological and mental bullying. What is psychological and mental bullying to you?
well, first and foremost, it differs from physical bullying. You know, physical bullying is actually putting your hands on the individual, etc. Which most times we are taught that it don't matter what a person says, just as long as he don't put his hands on you. You know, that cliche statement, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. However, psychologically, words and different things done mentally can
Can hurt
harm
you.
you because, yeah, man, psychological and mental bullying is also known as emotional bullying. I mean, it involves verbal, nonverbal tactics to harm a person emotionally and undermine their self-esteem, and sometimes to isolate you from others. And, you know, it can include things as name calling, teasing, spreading rumors, ignoring a person, excluding someone, making threats, using social media to bully. You know, it involves no physical harm, but the emotional impact can be just as severe.
Yeah, we have them in. It's almost like you know, being in a abusive relationship, and basically just you probably ain't got to hit them. You're just using words and to belittle them and make them feel bad and all of that.
Yes, it'll cause all kind of harm. Like, say for instance, one of the most immediate short-term effects victims have of psychological and mental bullying. They can experience anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, you know, social withdrawal, and difficulty sleeping. You know, just from being, you know, played with psychologically with their mind, it throws their rhythm off. They can also have physical symptoms, such as headaches and stomach aches and stuff, man. You know, in the long term, it can become even more severe. You know, they come out to be one that they struggle with trust issues. They have difficulties with maintaining relationships.
Right.
You know, and you know, depression and anxiety hits on real extreme sometimes in cases, and sometimes they even have uh, uh, suicidal thoughts, ideations. You know, because
We don't want that, man.
no, we don't want that. But you know, an individual that can continually go through this psychological or mental bullying could reach those levels of disparity or despair because they'll get in on themselves. They'll start believing and internalizing some of the negativities that is being blasted upon them all the time.
Yeah, I have. In my young days, I curse a female or somebody out, make them feel bad or whatever, knowing that words can hurt a person. And I want to apologize to people I ever cursed out and fired up in my life. You know what I'm saying? As being a hole and I have been one of them people who curse folks out and call them out their name and all type of stuff, make them feel bad. I just don't want to be that person ever in my life again, man. But keep going.
Yeah, I mean, because if you think about it, it has a significant impact on your brain, the way it functions. You know, we know that chronic stress from bullying can lead to changes in your brain structure and function, particularly in the areas that regulate emotions and stress responses. That's why you find some people who react opposed to responding. You know, being psychologically traumatized or mentally traumatized uh, can result in difficulties regulating your emotions, increase anxiety and depression, and it decreases your ability to deal with stress. You know how some people, you know, stressful situations are happening around and they're just as calm, but some people, when a stressful situation goes on and the energy gets to flowing, others kind of chime in on that stress as well, on that same vibration.
Yeah, I notice everybody can't handle stress. You know, some people just start running around, breaking down, crying. They'll get stuck in one spot. Yeah. So pressure is real. That type of stuff is real. Go ahead.
Yeah, and that's the reason why it's so important to check with your people, to know where they are mentally and emotionally.
Stable.
Yeah,
Trying to keep
simply.
it stable. Trying to balance it out like the song. Gotta balance it out. Try to balance it out, y'all. Keep going.
Yeah, you got to try to balance it out, and there are ways that you can balance it out, and then you have also what they call maladaptive coping skills. That's a heck of a concept. A maladapting coping skills is such as, like you mentioned earlier, a person in an abusive relationship, but they make excuses and justifications for why they're still there and why they accept the behavior.
Right, type stuff.
That's a maladaptive coping skill.
Now, what's that word you say?
Yeah, the maladaptive coping skills.
Maladaptive.
Yeah, and so when you're not providing appropriate adjustment to the environment or situation.
Right, you're not adapting properly. It's like they have another definition of what is maladaptive behavior, and it says maladaptive behavior is defined as behavior that interferes with an individual's activities of daily living,
yeah,
or ability to adjust to and participate in particular settings.
Yeah, so they'll just they'll shut all the way down.
Yeah, or either they will become, like we was talking about characters, they will become another character. They will play a role, the peaceful role, the quiet role, the non-responsive role, or they will change all the way up, and be in a whole nother space. People generally result to maladaptive coping skills.
Yeah.
And the one thing I want to say, it's important to remember that everybody experiences bullying in different ways. One size don't fit all.
Right.
Bullying could become, a person can come at you because they know that you are this caring and kind person, and out of whether it could be envy, jealousy, or whatever it is, because they see that you are at this point in your life, and they're not, they will try to bring you down, and they will use different
different
tactics to throw at you, to throw you off your square. We have to learn how to stay focused on who we really are, and not allow people to bully us by way of sarcasm, put down, name callings. You know how some people tend to charge at others who are studious, who study a lot, learn a lot, and they have a lot of information, a lot of things. They tend to give the label, you think you know everything, or you think you're too smart, blah, blah. That's not what the individual is. That person doesn't necessarily say that. He just shares his information. Now, someone who has a problem with it, or if the information that he shares, it hits like you throw a rock in a group of dogs, and one of them is going to cry out, especially if he get hit. So they tend to want to bring you down because they see in you what they're not able to accomplish. So now the objective is to throw that negative energy at you, test you. Now you say you are this individual that's evolved. You are moving past where you were in the past, but you have to remember, when we confide and make ourselves vulnerable to other people, they tend to use those things against you. We were talking about it in the character.
That's right.
And the average individual who who has the problem, they will not own up to it, because owning up
a
to it.
lot of people ain't gonna own up to their issues, and that's the problem is people not owning up to their issues. I mean, the world can be a better place if we own up to our issues. Like, I mean, if you know you got a problem, you got a dang on problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, address
Yeah,
the problem so the people around you can know how to adjust to the problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the music is too loud, we got to turn it down to work and adjust to people's ears. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. That's how life is, man. We gotta start addressing a problem. Even if you know you got an issue, man, you gotta know you got an issue. Like I always tell people, if you're gonna present and you let people know, hey man, you just let the people know you finna present in front of. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta let people know I'm a human. Excuse me if I stutter a little bit every now and then. But I'm gonna try to make it through. That's always, just you gotta let people know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Or like, just burn with me. That's what the brand about. You know what I'm saying? That's what the burn with me brand about. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And so that's what that about. That's burn with me. You know what I'm saying? I got an issue. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want it to be no crazy issue, and then you do something to somebody you can't come is a point of no return, and I think that's what's going on. People not addressing the issues that they have, even when they know they have issues. I mean, you can't sit here and act like you don't know that you got an issue. You're not acting normal, but some people probably don't know what normal is too. So keep going.
Well, that's the thing. We all have been brought up in different environments
Right,
and under different circumstances. So
right.
it's difficult to say what normalcy is for.
That's why I said that's why I corrected that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's difficult for that because some people
Born with nothing, no parents, no house,
yeah,
nothing. It's nothing. Like it's a whole lot of different levels of it. Then some people born with everything. Some people born in abusive relationships. Some people born in killer relationships. Some people born in gangs. And it's so many levels.
yeah, it is, and unfortunately, majority of us, we don't take the time to find out why we're caught up in this cycle or this situation. Oftentimes, it's just we are acting out what we have been raised around. Until we be conscious of it, then we can't. It's difficult for us to change. When we say, "Hold on now," because my daughter brought to me about breaking a cycle. With the absent dads and jails and things of that nature, and you can see a cycle. If you see from your generation, then your child, and then beyond that, you see that basically your children are in the same cycle that you were in. Then if you can see that, you can change it. But if you don't see it as a cycle, if you don't see it as a generational curse or what have you, you can never break that.
Right.
If you see it,
I love my daughters very much. I got 2 daughters. All my fathers out there, just try to stay active as possible. Stay in your children's lives, and make sure you always motivate them. Man, just I don't want to get off what we're talking about, but this is what we're talking about as well. Because bullying is a part of this, and I feel like sometimes I want to say this. I just wonder, do children, the children of the day ask if somebody really owed them something? And I'm gonna tell you, children, something of the day. The best thing you could have got was life. I'm gonna tell you just like that, because you probably couldn't have. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people didn't make it. The best thing you could have got is life. You know what I'm saying? And if you got half parents or parents that's trying to be there, you should respect that and honor that, because some people don't even have parents at all. So it's a lot with this. So that's my thing. Keep going.
yeah. Well, the thing is, we have in many situations we have not had to really struggle. Even though a lot of us are not rich or what have you, yeah, struggling to where you had to be respectful, you had to depend upon those next to you or around you in your community and things of that nature, cause more cohesion in communities and people. But when everyone starts getting the attitude that, it's all me, mine, just for me attitude, we lost something.
Type shit.
No one's concerned about the fellow man anymore. It's like, get it if you can, we don't care. And if you can't get it, then it's just too bad.
We almost 10 minutes in.
Yeah. But the most important thing is, if we're having problems, if we're steady getting into relationships that don't work, and they don't last no longer than the first honeymoon nights, then we need to step back and evaluate that and figure out how.
Evaluate that or evaluate self?
Self. Well, it's going to be self. We're going to evaluate the situation first.
If we take a break right here in 10 minutes and we hot.
Yeah. I just want to reemphasize the fact that, this psychological and mental bullying is a serious issue, because kind people will let stuff go by and they'll take it in, and it'll become like that pressure cooker we was talking about. They keep letting it go by, and then eventually it'll come out, because you're internalizing the stuff subconsciously, and you had to get rid of it. Never let nobody define who you are, and you know yourself, if you know yourself, because a lot of us don't know ourselves. We don't realize that the demons that we're facing is within us. It's not outside. The most realest thing you can figure out is, if you're steady having the same problems over and over again, looking in the mirror and you see where your problems are coming from. Because once we realize that we have a problem, then we can straighten that out. We know there's something there that needs to be done, and not like these modern day medical practices, practicing medicine and stuff. Because they'll tell you, we don't cure diseases, we treat diseases. We treat things. We're not in the curing business, we're in the treating business. That's why they give you pacifiers, drugs to make you feel better temporarily, but it's not a cure. So the cure is going all the way to the element where it starts from. And with most people, where the mental issues start from is from the old stuff that we learned, and we want to hold on to, even in light of the fact that it's been proven that it is wrong thinking. Yeah, that's when the cognitive dissonance kicks in.
Right.
Yeah. So,
running wings, chicken tips, rib tips, hamburgers, Polish sausages. Smell that smoke? Head on down there and get you some of that old Guido's Mississippi barbecue right there on the circle.
And the bullies, when they feel bad and have low self-esteem, they have to go at someone else, especially someone else that they see what they want but cannot do, cannot achieve. So they have to try and throw something in there to break that down, to make themselves feel as though they're okay or normal. Like you was talking about that normal. What's normal? They consider normal being like them. So if you are happy and they're unhappy, then you're not normal. Something's got to be wrong with you, because you're not miserable like I am. Yeah, it's sad, but
Misery loves company. Misery loves company.
that's a very true statement, and it's proven every day. Because anytime you take an individual that's miserable and they're caught in their misery, and someone else is trying to go outside of that, the person in the misery is going to always come up with an excuse of why you should not do or try what you're attempting. You're going to always have the excuse, oh, it's too hard. Why you want to try to do that? Why you want to go over there? It's crazy out there. Why no? Why should I care? You know that movie, Back to Wag the Dog. As long as I can sit here, what? Huh?
No, I repeated what you said. Go ahead, keep going.
Yeah, that movie, Wag the Dog, where he's talking about why do I have to care? Why should I have to worry about what's going on in the world?
What was the name of that movie? Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog.
Wag the Dog.
Yeah, it was a movie about a war being started to divert attention from the scandals that was going on in the country. And they had a guy who was looking at, he was at home, he said, why do I have to give up my TV? Why do I have to work? No, I can sit here and watch my TV, eat my food, and do what I want to do, and see what I want to see. I'm okay. I don't have to worry about everything going on in the world. Why should I care? But
that's in 1997. Old movie.
Yeah, it was an old movie. Yeah, Wag the Dog. And they used it. They used reference to it when Clinton got caught in his scandal, where he went and started, the Desert Storm thing going on over there to divert attention from his scandal.
Logically, psychological, and mental bullying, right?
Yes.
And when you look at that word psychological, you got the psycho in front, right?
Yep.
So bullies are psychos, of course. And then then you got what's their logic in there, what I'm saying? Like, what's their logic? Like, what's the psycho's logic of bullying people? You know what I'm saying? And trying to, throw your weight around or just throw your power around or whatever it may be to make somebody feel small.
Well, to make himself feel better.
Yeah.
Herself feel better. They suffer. The ones who use those tactics suffer from the low self-esteem. They suffer from all these things that they project upon the next person. See, in order to make themselves not feel bad or inadequate or insufficient or what have you, they will shoot that at another person, particularly a person that may care about them or want to be in a relationship with them. When they feel their inadequacy, they will reflect that off onto who's ever the closest to them. Oftentimes it will be trying to correct everyone else, judging everyone else, their actions and everything, and failing to look at self. And this is a low self-esteem, a depressive thing. And in order to make themselves feel better, that's the logic. You make themselves feel better, to feel what they consider to be normal, to be where, or to bring someone down to their level so they don't be so high. You notice how you walk into a room sometimes, and you can walk into that room and you can just feel how your energy starts to get drained. People watching, talking, saying things, doing different things, loving, hating, and all this energy. And it's a fluctuating energy.
Mm-hmm.
you can automatically feel the negative. You can walk into a room where the tension, they say the tension is so thick you can cut it with a knife. You can just feel that negative energy. It's like hitting a wall, bang. If you don't have no protection, you haven't built your strength up to deal with that, it'll suck you right in, and you just like the rest of the sheep, on that negative vibe, negative wave. So it's important for us to have someone we can talk to that we trust. They're not going to try to take something you might say later on and throw it at you to try to emotionally abuse you or break you down.
Yeah, we gonna have the hotline number for this, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I want to say it's long-lasting effects of that, man, on the person's mental health and well-being. It's important to recognize signs of bullying and to seek help if you or somebody you know is experiencing it. Because sometimes people can't speak up for themselves in those situations. They don't have the response. They just have a reaction.
Yeah, that's true.
It takes some good contemplating and thought to respond properly to things, but to react, that's just a reaction. What you normally do if somebody throw a ball, you either catch it or dodge it, or stand there and get hit.
Right, so yeah, man, you already know what it is, man. It's we almost out of here. What's the name of this podcast, man?
Oh, this is the inevitable return to butter.
Yeah, man.
We out. Peace.
Yeah, peace.
Inevitable return to
butter.